The Redmi Note 4 was the best-selling smartphone in India last year. So naturally, expectations have been high for its successor, the Redmi Note 5. And while the Note 5 is a good upgrade from the Note 4, the Redmi Note 5 Pro is the smartphone that looks like the true successor to the much-loved Redmi Note 4. It's powerful, it has an updated design, it's got some great camera abilities. So yes, it looks like a winner, but how does it actually fare? 18:9 Full HD plus 5.99-inch display makes the smartphone look like a high-end phone. Just look at it next to the Mi A1. The Note 5 Pro looks a lot better. It's beautiful. It's not bezel-less, but it looks great and very similar to high-end phones like the Pixel 2 XL or the LG V30. Plus, it helps that the display is great. It's sharp, the colors look nice, and the brightness is good enough for outdoors. I really like the display on the Note 5. Okay, so moving on to the second major design change. Well, it's the camera setup on the back. Yes, it looks a lot like the setup on the iPhone X, but that's okay, I guess. I mean, Xiaomi is clearly inspired by the Apple flagship here, but it's fine. Apart from that, it's the usual Xiaomi with the IR blaster on the top, the fingerprint scanner on the back, headphone jack on the bottom, all the things to like. There's one thing I dislike, and that's the micro USB port. I mean, come on Xiaomi, it's 2018, why no USB-C? Your very own Mi A1 comes with USB-C, so why the Redmi Note 5 Pro does not? I like the back of the device. The curves make holding the phone really comfortable. Yes, it's a metal build, but it's surprisingly not so slippery. Also, another thing I like are the buttons. They are just so tactile. Moving on to the highlight of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, the camera. Let's talk specs first. The back features a 12 megapixel f2.2 plus 5 megapixel f2.0 dual camera setup with a dual LED flash. Here are some photos we took from the Redmi Note 5 Pro. As you can see, the camera at times takes some great shots with good colors and details. But a lot of times the camera fails to judge the white balance right or just produces photos with washed out colors. And that may be because our review unit has a nightly build of MIUI 9. Anyways, the same problem persists in low light photos as well. Some are good, some are bad. It's strange. I took a few comparing shots with the Mi A1 and I certainly like the photos from the Mi A1 more. Moving on to video recording, the Redmi Note 5 Pro is the first Redmi phone to pack any sort of stabilization. The 5 Pro has the EIS here and the videos captured are stable. But apart from the stability, the video quality is pretty average. Also, there's no 4K recording, which Xiaomi says is coming in a future update. Anyways, moving on to the front. The Redmi Note 5 Pro packs in a very powerful front camera. A 20 megapixel f2.2 camera with an LED flash. Yes, a massive 20 megapixel camera on the front. This software is to blame again, because at the launch Xiaomi said that the Redmi Note 5 Pro's portrait selfies are better than the portrait selfies taken from the Pixel 2 and the iPhone X. Now that is one bold claim. Well, right now that claim does not really match up, but we'll be testing out the Note 5 Pro's portrait selfies against the portrait selfies from the Pixel 2 and the iPhone X. So I guess we'll find out. Another big upgrade in the Redmi Note 5 Pro is the processor. The Redmi Note 5 Pro is the first smartphone in the world to come with the Snapdragon 636, which should really please fans because the Snapdragon 625 in the Redmi Note 4 was kind of disappointing because the Redmi Note 3 came with a Snapdragon 650 processor. The octa-core Snapdragon 636 is only the second chipset outside the flagship 800 series to feature Qualcomm's own custom Cryo CPU cores. And well, quite expectedly, the performance is top-notch. Using multiple apps, switching between apps, extensive games, basically no matter what, the phone handles everything like a champ. The performance really makes the Note 5 Pro a premium device, and that performance also comes due to a well-optimized MIUI 9. It's the same old MIUI which a lot of us love, but it has some refinements. There's full screen mode to make sure all apps stretch to fill in on the new 18:9 aspect ratio. A page on the home screen that houses app shortcuts, notes, cricket scores, calendar events, etc. And then there are our favorite MIUI features like native app locker, screen recorder, themes, second space, dual apps, etc. Next up, we tested the battery, and that's another area where the Redmi Note series excels. And as cliched as it sounds, the Redmi Note 5 Pro is no exception. We did not receive the whole package with the charger and everything, but from what we've heard, the bundle charger does not fast charge the device. But apparently the device supports it. We tried to charge the Note 5 Pro with a fast charger, and well, it worked. The Redmi Note 5 Pro went from 10 to 100% in around 2 hours 10 minutes. So if you get a Note 5 Pro, you'll have to get a fast charger if you really want to charge your device quickly.
So this Redmi Note 5 Pro would fare in gaming. I'm pretty sure in gaming it will do fine, but what I've noticed in my testing is that this handset tends to get a little bit warm when you stress it. So we'll also be testing its temperature to see how much it heats up after about 15 minutes of gaming. And I'm not going to play very casual games, I'm just going to play these 4 games. And let's start with Leo's Fortune. So this is Leo's Fortune, and as expected, very smooth. No problems with this game. It's not a very heavy game, so as expected, no issues. Very smooth animation, no drop in animation or anything, as you can see. So let me get out of this one and let's try some heavier games. So let's just get out of this. I'm just going to remove it from memory, and now let's move to Modern Combat 5. So guys, this is Modern Combat 5. Let's start this game. And for some reason, as you can see, it for this particular game, I tried it a couple of times. I even restarted this phone. It's thinking that a controller, physical controller is attached, so I'm not able to play this game. As you can see, I can move around, but it says R2 for trigger, and I went even in the settings, and it's saying that it thinks that a controller is installed, which is not the case. So very weird error that I'm getting for this game. So we can't play this game, but as you can see here, if I move around, no drop in animation. So this is a very weird error. It's thinking that a controller is attached, which is not the case. So that was a weird error. Now let's move to Asphalt Extreme. So this is Asphalt Extreme, and as you can see, on-screen controls are working perfectly fine on this one. So some issue with that game, some compatibility issue, I'm hoping. And as you can see, it's playing this game without any issues. I see no lag whatsoever on this game. So as you can see, it's playing this game without any issues. So it played this game fine, and let's check the temperatures now. Here it's about 28.2, and on the screen it's about 37, and back also it's about 36 or so, not 37 max it touched. Yeah, but we'll continue. Actually, let's try now Asphalt 8, which is sort of notorious game, and we'll play it on the highest graphics setting to see how it fares. So this is Asphalt 8, and I'm using the on-screen steering, guys, and this is at the highest setting. Let's do some takedowns now. So it's fairly smooth. I'm trying to drift now. Let's take him down also. So as you can see, it's running it fine. Car is in complete control, trying to drift now. Let's do a takedown. So as you can see, it's playing this level without any issues. So in terms of gameplay with Asphalt 8, I have no issues. Only thing we'll need to test is that I'll try to finish this level and see the temperatures after that. So this level will be finished and we will check the temperatures to see if this device exhibits any heating. So we have finished this level. Let's see the ambient temperature, about 27 here, and on the screen about 38.8, we could say that almost 39 degrees Celsius. Yeah, 39 is the max that we are noticing near the earpiece. And here back, let's see, it's about 38 as you can see. So relatively cool, I would say. Not very hot. It feels a little bit warm to touch while I was gaming because of this metallic back, but as we saw, the temperatures are not very hot. In fact, it gets warm even here at the bottom. If you see, that is another thing that I've noticed because of the aluminum back. As you can see on the top, it's 38 and bottom is about 36. So this entire back feels a little bit warm after gaming, but as we saw, it does not get very hot.
Positives first. The design is great thanks to the 18:9 display. The display itself is gorgeous. The performance is so good. The battery life is amazing and MIUI 9 is great. That's a lot of positives. Well, at this price, the phone competes with the company's very own Mi A1. And honestly, the Mi A1 is still a good buy for someone looking for the stock Android experience with a capable camera. But the Snapdragon 625 just feels a little outdated now. But if you're okay with MIUI and you can trust Xiaomi to improve the cameras, you can buy the Redmi Note 5 Pro without a doubt. It has a better design, better performance and more features. There's also the Moto G5s Plus and the Honor 7X. But honestly, the Moto phone and the Honor phone can't really match up to the Note 5 Pro. So there you have it. The Redmi Note 5 Pro is really the true blue successor to the much loved Redmi Note 4. And I think it will be the budget phone to beat in 2018. And if Xiaomi manages to improve the camera performance, it will be really tough to beat the Note 5 Pro. That's how good it is.